On this episode of DC On Screen, we review Barry Keoghan's deleted Joker scene from The Batman, discuss the recent release date changes to DC films, and talk about more DCEU cameos coming in Peacemaker Season 2. And we talk about the looming fate of 2 DCCW series. All that, and a few things more coming up after these enigmatic words from our mystery sponsors. Welcome in, this is DC On Screen, the podcast that covers the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. If it has been released, we're gonna spoil it, and the show is not safe for work. And I get a bit weird sometimes. So if you have kids or an appetite, we might spoil that too. I'm your host, David C. Robertson, and this, the man who coined the phrase chicken wine, Jason Goss.
If you haven't tried it, do not knock it.
It's one of my favorite memories from living with you.
The hard part is chasing him down.
No, what chicken wine is it's just Rex Goliath wine.
Yeah.
But it has a chicken on the cover or on the label. And Jason would come home and he would constantly refer to it as chicken wine. And
of course.
It's just
the label begs for that.
It would perplex anyone who had just come over to hang out, and Jason would just come out with a cup and be like, chicken wine? And they're just the hell is chicken wine?
I did really enjoy confusing you the first time where I'm like, I have chicken wine. Do you want some?
Just proud as shit of your like $6 gas station wine.
Oh, $4.
But it's like Alf, with the cat
don't
juice.
Don't put on airs for the chicken wine.
I don't know how much it is.
It'll be like
I never deigned to look at the wine in the gas
it'll
station.
just say like red mixed. It's not even like a Merlot or a Cabernet or something.
Right.
It's not. No, just red mix.
It's
this is roughly, very, very roughly, a grape that got fucked. And we took some time and fucked it a certain way. Do you want it or not? Because we put a chicken on the label.
And as we all know, the finest wine comes with a chicken on the label.
Of course it does.
A fine, robust flavor.
Of course. I think that might have been a rooster.
It was a rooster.
Who the hell cares?
It was a rooster. It was a mighty, powerful rooster.
But who cares? At that point.
And but it does. It feels like the cat juice from Alf.
Yeah.
Shit is chicken wine.
I forgot about cat juice.
All right. Yeah. So I do, because we didn't do it last time. I want to do it this time at least. I want to thank the patrons. $5 a month gets you every episode ad free, just like the $1 a month. However, when we deem it appropriate or when we find time in our busy schedule, we will do exclusive content. We do Marvel reviews. You used to do comic book reviews. I don't know what happened to that. I guess you just got too busy. Your books got too backed up or something.
Both. I will still do it on demand.
But at the very least, you will get this episode a little earlier than if you just followed on the normal feed. That's $5 a month. And we do thank all of our patrons because without you guys, I'm not sure this show would be going anymore. Yeah. I mean, it would be going. You just wouldn't be hearing it. That's the issue. Like, we'd still call each other every week and be like, "Oh shit, did you see what Emmerich did?"
Oh, it literally keeps the lights on.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Toby Emmerich, I don't know if you saw this, and it's just a Reddit rumor, and we don't normally talk about those, but it's too exciting. Someone on Reddit was saying that, like, behind the scenes, Emmerich's being replaced. And man, I hope that's true.
Well, I did see it, and
yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, people tagged us in it.
I hope
they were
that's
like,
true.
Look. And I'm like, from that rumor mill to God's ears, buddy. Or if not God, David Zaslav. So fingers crossed on that. Let's talk about these DC films release dates. Coming late to the party, but we're going to talk about it anyway. The Rock had put out there that Super Pets will now be released on July 29th, and Black Adam is moving to October 1st. So then Warner Brothers, of course, everyone was like, what does that mean for the other movies that are coming out in 2022? Well, it means they're not coming out in 2022.
Yeah. That is what that means.
Yeah. Aquaman 2 is now coming out March 17th, 2023. And The Flash goes from November of this year to June 23rd, 2023. 34 years to the day that Keaton first debuted as Batman, by the way. And weirdly, we do get Shazam Fury of the Gods moving up from 2023 to December 12th, 2022. So we will get Shazam earlier.
Yeah. That part's been filmed and in the can for a minute, so that makes sense.
And David Sandberg
said
said
that they kept a slot open for my birthday.
Yeah.
It's just going to be Super Pets now.
I
can do that.
Yeah.
Gotta see if the daughter can survive like a whole film in the theater.
Yeah, it's a good,
She won't.
Testing ground.
She won't.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But if you explain
what's going to be
her,
funny is I'm going to take the wife with me on this one, and it'll be a whole family adventure. And then basically at some point I'm just going to bounce everyone else but me. And just be like, okay, cool. It's cool. That's why we took 2 cars. Y'all head home. I'm going to finish this movie.
Yeah. If you sit your 3-year-old daughter down and you say, look, sweetie, I know you'll probably want to get up during the movie and leave, but Mark Maron is Lex Luthor.
Listen, sweetie, 2 things you don't give a fuck about. That dude that you've roughly watched. Okay, no, listen. Eisenberg, yeah, listen. Yeah, okay. So the 2 things you don't care about. Oh, no, I know he's scary. Also, Mark Maron. Have you ever heard it? No, he's shit. Okay. That's going to be the conversation. And then we'll go to the theater. It'll be fun. Oh, that was the conversation with my wife, by the way.
I can see that.
Yeah.
David Sandberg said, that's right, Shazam 2 is getting released 6 months earlier, and now comes this December, going up against Avatar 2. Poor James Cameron must be shaking in his boots right now.
Damn well should be.
He also says, it's funny how Shazam 1 was a Christmas movie released in April, and Shazam 2 is a summer movie getting released at Christmas. It's the Shazam way.
Love it.
Now, Deadline updated their article about the all of the kerfuffle with the release dates and says, we've heard that a number of these movies, which are VFX heavy, are being pushed due to the logjam many post-production effects houses are facing as productions ramped up during COVID. The Flash alone has 2,500 VFX shots.
God,
basically
that's high.
Fury of the Gods is ready. It's sitting on a shelf. It's waiting. And James Wan even commented, and he had said before, he had posted this thing on Instagram saying, working nonstop day and night, at least 15 hours a day on my director's cut from my home setup. Thank God for the big desk. For a movie that is nearly all visual effects, I'm thankful for the extra time needed to craft this thing right. Working with groundbreaking new technology, I'm blown away by some of the early tests coming in. I'm cautiously optimistic and excited and can't wait to share when the time is ready. And James Wan had already said that he couldn't make the December release as much as he loved the Christmas slot. And he just finished shooting 2 months ago in January. So Jimmy Wan wasn't getting it done. Right. It's just too much. I feel disrespectful calling him Jimmy. But having just said it, I can't help but think that Jimmy Wan just sounds like, I don't know, like a used car salesman. All
right. So it brings to mind a thing you would use to get into a car. Like if you're breaking in, like a Jimmy Wan.
Jimmy Wan. See, I was thinking it was like Jimmy Wan. He's an Asian guy who was born and raised in the South, in the U.S. And he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to use it. Yep. And then he opened up a used car lot. And he just, says shit like, engineering from the U.S., but prices from the East.
Yep.
Something like
Full
that.
Jimmy.
Good old Jimmy Wan.
I feel like
he's
this
a
is
regular
the
over at
plot
the
of
Bluebird.
Fresh Off the Boat, where he just opens up like a Texas steakhouse.
Mm-hmm. He wears like a 10-gallon hat.
I'm pretty sure that's the first couple episodes I watched.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I don't know what you're talking about, but
same actor that's the you remember the guy that like declares Atlantis must exist?
Oh yeah. Randall Park.
Yeah, that dude.
Nice. There's some show. I think it was it The Middle?
He's probably. He's become a very popular actor. Like not for nothing. He's really good.
Oh yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff. One of my favorite stories from him is like he didn't remember that he was Asian Jim in The Office. Do you remember this? Do you remember who Asian Jim was?
I do remember that bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Jim goes in, or Jim hires his friend who's an actor to go in and pretend to be Jim.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwight doesn't know who. He's like, who are you and why are you here? He's like, I'm Jim. And he's like, no, Jim isn't Asian. And he goes and he's like, this is Jim. And he picks up the photo of Jim and Pam and their kid. And it's like a picture of Randall Park. And and they just concocted this whole big lie to screw with Dwight all these years.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. So yeah, it just looks like a bunch of stuff couldn't get done as quickly as they hoped it would. I don't think there's a lot of kerfuffle, a lot of people online just, I hate going to Facebook because when you see a story like this pop up on the timeline, it's like a lot of people like with the laughing emojis. And I'm like, why are you like reveling in this? Like, why is like, I know what Warner Brothers sucks ass. They do kind of sometimes, specifically not here, but
I think that's what hurts the most is knowing that it isn't just like normal restrictive problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's that also there's some hint of truth to what they're saying.
Yeah, it's not just that Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers fucked it up. Also, things are hard. Right.
This may not have been their fault. Of course, the conspiracy theorists. You know them. They're saying Zaslav, and maybe I hope this is true. I honestly do. But they're saying that David Zaslav came in and said, look, I want to restore Snyderverse, so we're going to need some reshoots on the Flash, make sure that all lines up. And I will say that a lot of actors are posting a lot of things. A lot of different people involved are posting a lot of things. There might be some smoke to the fire. Who knows? Fingers crossed.
I mean, maybe, but imagine if you're Keaton, where someone sat down and told you hey, listen, we're going to reroute this thing. That this is the new direction. And then a year and a half later. So what I meant by that is, yes, that, and also this.
Yeah. Dude, I would be really cool. If they did restore the Snyderverse, because I obviously want that, but I also want Keaton. So I've got to imagine they are not going to completely
I feel like you're
reshoot.
Good either way, and I'm on the same boat.
I want my cake and I want to eat it too. I want to see Keaton.
100%.
I want to see Affleck come back over and over again. And we already had Ezra saying ha 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 to that thing about, whether or not it's going to be Affleck's last run.
Yeah. I mean,
so
similarly, the fact that we're even getting Affleck and Keaton. Yeah. I heard the duck too. The fact that we're even getting those two is that's the whole cake for me. We weren't supposed to get this far.
Yeah. No.
So I'm good. Whatever happens, we'll play with it.
Yeah. I really would love to just in the middle, let's say, Zach does get his shit, his stuff that he gets, he wants to do. We've still got that final crisis in the back behind that turkey. with those notebooks on top of it. So like, what? It'd be just like a great little throwaway to be like, hey, why's your cave so messy? And Affleck's like, I got this old man staying with me. You know, like it's like old Batman like running around like Gotham using, like he just shows up at Affleck's door and he's like, hey man, so I'm kind of new to this place, this universe.
Oh, this would be fun. Do you remember the scene where Joker actually breaks into the Batcave and Alfred's the one who says like, I don't have such a rule about killing or whatever.
Yeah.
And just shotguns his ass.
Yeah, sure.
That would be a really fun scene with Keaton.
It would.
Like, no, I don't subscribe to that. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, he killed Joker for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I would love it if you know there were like two different Batmen holed up in the Batcave, or maybe you know Bruce stays in his little like lakeside crib, you know, and Keaton's like, can I chill at the mansion? Because that was kind of where I did all my stuff. So is that cool? Yeah, dude, do it. Cool.
Oh, I really want a scene where like Keaton shows up and wants to do some like, you know, detective work and just looks at the screens and goes, okay, all right, well, this is better.
Yeah.
Just let me work.
He's like, I miss my 37.
Give me some gazpacho.
I miss my 37 4x3 televisions. That's what I.
You know what I miss the most is that feeling of the CRT playing with the back of your eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
Short of that, these flat screens are great.
Yeah, I do kind of miss regular TVs.
You miss
old
the
school
like
TVs. A little bit.
Background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss being able to walk into a room and know that my television is on, even though it's not on like a station I can see. Like if
I was just thinking about that. Like
if it's just dark
it's
and I walk in,
black screen, but you can hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could like turn that off, and you hear like a satisfying.
Yes. Or that. Anyway,
you know
yeah. Over to the Batman. I don't want to be disingenuous here. This is Dave and Jason from the future of when we were recording, and what had happened was
we forgot.
I teased it up front that we were going to be reviewing that deleted Joker scene. And I was so sure that I wouldn't forget, apparently, that I didn't put it in our show notes.
Yeah.
And then I didn't talk about it.
It was a long week of notes after that, and we got trapped in that idea and just hubris. I think it's hubris.
I don't know. That's what I'll say. Non-words. But yeah, we're going to talk about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And all right. So this thing came out, and I've seen all sorts of people saying it undercuts the subsequent scene where he's actually talking to Riddler in the cell.
Yeah, no, I'm not with that.
I don't think it does. I don't think it undercuts that.
They have a very different conversation.
If I will say, if it undercuts anything, it is the revelation that Riddler thinks Batman is like him.
Yes, but that would qualify as more of a theme in the course of that movie.
Like it, but I don't think it would ruin it. I think it just hits different. Like if Joker says, you know,
anything.
Well, yeah. If Joker says, hey, you don't recognize this guy?
Mm-hmm.
He's you.
Yeah.
And Batman's like in denial. And then he's like, that shit's not real.
Mm.
And
You're
then when
shit, friend.
And then when he talks to Riddler and Riddler's like, we almost got him. Huh? And he's like, damn it. You know? So like it would just hit different. Like it's not quite the realization that Batman has when Riddler says that shit. And
I agree.
It does
come from very different places.
It does kind of undercut the Bruce Wayne moment when he just keeps saying that shit. And it's like, Batman's like, shit.
Yeah, but those would have played very well together because
they would
something that would have something that is really great about the Joker conversation is how, I mean, short of saying his name, he knows this motherfucker inside and out. Inside of his skin is obvious to him. Whereas Riddler knows the idea of him, the fantasy. And maybe, like, for a second, you think he actually knows the person, but he really doesn't. He is just a guy playing solitaire, and Bruce happens to be watching. Whereas Joker is, like, they're playing Texas Hold'em, and he knows which two cards he's holding. That part's very, very different to me.
So, do you wish this was the movie?
Probably, but there are, in retrospect, like, a few scenes I wish, not wish, but could have been trimmed, and I would have been okay with it. Mm-hmm. But if we're talking about a movie that's this long already, absolutely throw it in there.
Yeah.
If we're just talking about trying to get it done in 2 hours, yeah, you could probably do some things.
Right.
Fuck that.
I think it works.
That's not how movies work anymore. Throw it in there.
It's one of those things where it's like, if they had, they've kind of painted themselves into a corner now. Mm-hmm. Because if there was ever any hope that from Matt Reeves that they're not going to do this version of Joker now, they should never have released this. Because like everybody and their mama that I've seen pretty much has been like, okay, that is fantastic. Like I loved it. I loved the Joker being like, oh, you think they deserved it? You think they deserved it? Like that was
yeah.
Just like, and even just like how he's like, no leads. Have you read this file? He's you. Like, I really enjoyed it.
I spent 10 seconds with this. I don't know who this is.
I don't agree with the assessment that he's doing Heath Ledger. I don't agree. He's not doing anything I've seen before.
I feel like he did a lot of things I've seen before, but it was enough of a mixture that it felt unique in a way. But
yeah,
say anything different about any other Joker you've ever seen.
I mean,
because you can't. I mean, they all pay homage and keep going.
His accent, like I couldn't pin it down. It sounds
Brooklyn to me a little bit.
Maybe Brooklyn. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
That's actually one thing I liked is it sounds like somebody that was from a bigger city, like somebody who, actually like went to a street corner and waited for a bus to get to a subway kind of shit. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Joker generally just sounds American, just Midwestern or some shit. Like that part I really dug, that he seems like he might be from Gotham proper.
Yeah.
He grew up there.
Yeah.
And was apparently burned and very scarred somewhere in that upbringing.
Well, no, Matt Reeves says that, that this version of the Joker was born with this defect, with congenital disease. Like he went out of the way and said he was not thrown in acid.
Yeah.
He was born like this.
That's just how he be. Right?
He is straight up like the man who laughed. Like he was born like this,
scars and all,
permanent grin, like Elephant Man type shit. And he feels like the world, the universe played a joke on him, and he's going to play a joke on us.
I can dig that.
So that's where we're at with this version of the character, apparently. And but yeah, if he decides to do anything different with this character, nope, you've already made us love this one. You're going to hear it.
It would have to be if his version of things continues on. It will have to be this guy.
I think so.
There are parts of even the staging that I liked, like the whatever you call that around his neck, the kind of like
I don't know what it's called.
That, but when he gets up, I'm sure the shackles are on his hands and ankles.
Yeah,
and that's holding his like neck down while he walks.
And I loved everything. Everything that was said, I loved. Like, oh, it's almost our anniversary. Like, oh, first anniversary's paper. Do you really think I come so cheap? Like, oh my God.
Well, I liked some of that interaction, even Pattinson's reactions to it, where it's very, it's pretty subdued in a way. Like he's a little bit accepting of the fact that this is, how do I put it? This is their relationship. Mm-hmm. They have an established relationship of some kind. Mm-hmm. I don't like. It would be one thing if Joker was just being some wacko fanboy or something. Mm-hmm. He's not. And I base that on Pattinson's reaction because like. They talk like someone who've talked a lot,
and
it validates it in a way, and it, like to the point where like when he's walking away laughing at who he really is, Pattinson's got nothing to fucking say.
Yeah,
like that he almost just has to roll with it. Like, okay, you've got my number. I'm sorry.
God, their chemistry though was
It
was good.
solid. It was solid.
It was good. Like, you think I get off on this? Like, don't you? Like, yeah. Yeah.
Fair question.
Yeah. It was, I don't know. I enjoyed the hell out of the scene. I want to see more of Barry Keoghan as the Joker.
Yeah.
I mourned this scene after I saw it. I was like, oh, like, if I had seen that scene in the theater, I don't think my initial reaction would have been quite as blasé. I think that would have just pushed me right over.
Yeah.
All right. Batman director Matt Reeves was talking about whether or not Superman could exist in his universe. He says it's a high wire act to do a Batman movie. Because the character's been around for 80 years, everyone has their own version in their head, and there have been great movies. The last thing I wanted was to come in there and feel like I had to do something with the highest degree of difficulty, and then also find the ways that it connects to everything else. My thing was, from the beginning, I said, look, I think it's enough to try and just do a Batverse, to do a Batman movie. And that's where this begins. He says, I suppose it's not impossible to believe that somewhere down the line they could connect to something else, but that was not my interest in this. And it's not my interest in what we would do in follow-ups at the moment either. I feel like the whole point in us working with this incredible cast and this incredible crew to realize this movie that sort of, I believe, is a fresh and different version of these characters is to pursue there are a lot of great characters in the Gotham world. And so the idea of leaning into that's really my interest right now. So, it's not that he's not like Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz were cracking about how like Superman wouldn't fit into the world. Matt Reeves is just saying like, that's not really what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So, and as we all know, actors don't know shit. So, Batman producer Dylan Clark, talked about when we can expect the sequel. He says, I will go on record and say that it will be less than 5 years.
Nice.
Not a lot, but what we're going to get way before that is some spinoffs.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I loved this, and this isn't news, but I loved it. Ali Plum of BBC Radio 1 was talking to Robert Pattinson and asking like what kind of Batman stuff Pattinson got to take home, And Pattinson says, I kept getting a talking to from Warner Brothers. They'd say, it's fine to have a few socks, but you take them every day. He kept stealing socks. Apparently they were like, how many socks do you need? Because we've been shooting for a year.
I mean, if they're comfortable, then dear God.
Yeah. Were they MeUndies socks? That's my question.
Where's the limit?
And the Batman will arrive on HBO Max for streaming on April 19th. Cinema Blend asked Matt Reeves if one of the big fan theories was that Mayor Mitchell's son is the future Robin. And I'll admit he did stare at Batman, and Batman stared at him, quite a bit. And Reeves says, interesting. No. But you know what? It's a cool idea. It wasn't the intention, but actually, why would I say that? Why would I? Well, because it's a cool idea. Mm-hmm. So I guess you can think fan theories if the Batman 2 Bat by Dawn comes out and and Mayor Mitchell's son is Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I always go the Evil Dead 2 route when I make up names for sequels that don't exist. Everyone was like, everyone wants to say Electric Boogaloo because of that rumored Beetlejuice 2 that was going around in the 90s.
Yep.
I much prefer Dead by Dawn.
Yeah.
Bat by Dawn. Anyway, that's where my brain goes.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I apologize.
It's a better title.
It is. So Matt Reeves has announced that there is going to be a comic book tie-in, or a spinoff really, called Riddler Year One that comes out this October. And while we're on the Batman, we might as well go ahead and just act like we're in television news for a second. HBO Max has given a straight to series order on the Penguin, which is the spinoff starring Colin Farrell Colin Farrell is going to be co-executive producing with Matt Reeves and Dylan Clark and Lauren LaFranc, and who's going to be the showrunner. And
is it weird that I'm more willing to accept that he's executive producer of this show than that he is actually the fucking Penguin? Because, dear God, I've watched him for 3 hours now, and I still can't fucking believe it.
Mm-hmm. Dylan Clark said, we're going to be seeing Oz rise to power, almost like a Scarface story. It's exciting to do something like that just as a standalone, but it speaks to the character and our movie so that you'll go back to the movie and say, oh, I see that backstory there. That line refers to this. And so that would seem to indicate that it's going to be a prequel. And then Farrell was talking to Entertainment Tonight and says, we have to get into what made him the man he is. And also it will pick up where the film finished off, I think. I think it'll pick up a little short time after the last frame of this film. We'll get to go on a little kind of left turn off to the world of Oz and how he's beginning to kind of dream of fulfilling a potential power vacuum that may exist. So it sounds like to me they're going to do like a Better Call Saul kind of situation, or, where they're kind of like, here's my rise to power, filling the power vacuum. And then also here are flashbacks to how I started. That's what
I agree.
Feeling.
Just with what accent did he give that interview?
I don't know.
Did it go up? Was there an Irish lilt?
I read it. I don't have time
at the end
to
of
watch
everything
it or listen to it.
He's a master. He's an actual master dialect. Wait, how UCB put it? Dialectician.
Yeah, and there was talk that this was Penguin's rise to power after Falcone was supposed to be the sequel, and then HBO Max and Warner Brothers were like, nope, we want to do that as a series. And Matt was like, oh, okay.
Nope. Funnel this over here.
Nope, that's a series, my friend. And Matt Reeves has given an update on Gotham PD. We haven't heard much about it for a while now. It was supposed to come out in January of this year.
Yeah.
And Matt Reeves was saying one thing that we were going to do, that I was going to do. So there's the Gotham Police show. The one, that one has actually been put on hold. We're not really doing that. And this was on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. And he says the series was going to be kind of like Prince of the City, where it was going to be year one because the movie is year two. And I wanted it to be the first appearance of Batman. So it wasn't going to be a Batman story. It was going to be about this corrupt cop, and it was going to be about how the worst gang in Gotham were the GCPD. He was going to have crossed paths with Gordon, who would have been someone to measure him against, but it would be a battle for his soul. I loved this idea. The GCPD thing, that story has kind of evolved. We've actually now moved more into the realm of exactly what would happen in the world of Arkham as it relates coming off of our movie, and some of the characters almost leaning into the idea of it's like a horror movie or a haunted house that is Arkham. So I kind of really love the idea of the Gotham PD show.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm also digging this Arkham Asylum show. I like the idea, and I don't know if this is what they're doing, but I really like the idea that Arkham Asylum could be like a Matt Reeves anthology show, whereas like every episode is sort of like almost Gotham, but as an origin story for all of the bad guys.
I could dig that. Yeah.
Like, here's how Batman put him away the first time. Here's how Batman put her away for the first time.
Yeah. The hell did you end up here?
Yeah. And we got a little bit of feedback from our Batman review, and I just wanted to hit that up before we move on to other topics. The first one comes from Samantha C. She says, you said in your review of the Batman that you weren't sure if Selina Kyle had an incestuous relationship with Falcone prior to the movie. The answer is, ew, no. Selina said that she... Look, man, I saw it once. Selina said that she knew pretty early in her life that Falcone was her dad, but he didn't know until her conversation with him late in the movie. She wouldn't dare sleep with him, but she wouldn't give up that piece of information over to him easily because it would enable him to use that relationship against her in some way. He's a psychopath in power over a mob. That is not an ideal father figure. But one reason she would stay in his orbit was to find the right moment to hurt him with the information about her paternity. And the reason Falcone kept touching Selina is because he believes her aloofness towards him is a long-standing game of foreplay. In his eyes, he's a cat, as she was a sexy little mouse that kept eluding him. Nonetheless, Falcone is a man who has the power to order someone killed, and she is a lowly employee at a club who caught his eye. That is not an easy position to be in. When I was a teen and in my early 20s, I have been in a similar kind of situation, frequently at work, where men who were higher ranked than me or thought they had power over me wanted to think that my own unresponsiveness towards their flirtations was a game. And yes, they would touch my face and arms in a way as if there was already a sexual relationship. In reality, I just wanted them to go far, far away and never see them again. At the time, I was afraid that if I told them directly to go away, that they might somehow hurt or kill me. Now I'm more confident in handling unwanted advances, but for this movie, it's this kind of miscommunication between men and women that spurred the Me Too movement. Thanks for the podcast. I enjoyed hearing your take on the Batman. Samantha, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know what I thought. I don't even remember doing the show, honestly. I have I have a real problem not remembering what the hell I thought or said on the show sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough. I get the take where it's an incestuous thing where he's being creepy in that particular way.
See, I was like wondering, like, what has she had to do to continue to be close to him? You know what I mean? Like, even with her knowledge, because it was clear he didn't know at the end.
Yeah. I get that part. I think he's just such an awful character. I mean, the portrayal was amazing, but I think he's just such a bad person that even that little hint of humanity he shows, where he seems to maybe want to have some kind of relationship with her, is it's still terrible.
I mean, even if it's like you remind me of a girl I used to know, like, yeah, that was my mom, dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've seen shit like this in jobs I've had. And yeah, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that.
Yeah, I've seen it in real life too.
Moving on. Robert Boyd over on Twitter says, loved your review. Saw it last night. Adam West also played Bats as a detective. You mentioned the quote-unquote old guy in Rocky. That was, of course, Burgess Meredith, who played the Penguin in the 60s. Yes, sir, I am very familiar with Burgess Meredith. If I said that, which I'm sure I did, it was to dumb it down for Jason. I'll say names from older movies, and Jason will be like, I don't know that. He doesn't know actors' names.
Nope.
You don't know actors' names. So
nope.
I had to be like, what have you seen? I could name all of the Twilight Zone episodes, but you wouldn't know that. I could no, okay. Old guy in Rocky. Ah, there it is.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't call myself young. I'm not old, but I'm not young. I'm 38. My 26-year-old sister, we're both kind of old souls. So we would, we watched all the old stuff, the Twilight Zones and old movies and just we know Burgess Meredith. We love Burgess Meredith. He's fantastic. But yeah, just try to ease Jason into it.
I have a weird middle ground where I've seen F Troop and
the old good old Larry
Bonanza,
Storch,
old shows,
Matt Dillon,
and Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yeah, man,
I've seen stuff.
I've seen some shit.
Yeah.
You don't remember names.
Nope,
worth a damn.
Negative.
You remember names like I remember what I said last episode.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be over here talking to, my sister-in-law and say some shit about Rowdy Yates, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Never mind. As I walk away, rolling. All right, now we had some feedback from our buddy Chris White, and he was shocked,
I say,
that we didn't bring up Batman's usage of venom in our Batman review. It did not occur to me that that's what was happening. I just thought it was adrenaline.
Yeah, not on the day.
I mean,
I had to hear about it later to think about it.
And I think online, a lot of people are saying, well, it was green. Adrenaline is clear. This was green. And it did occur to me that, they were like talking about the drop heads, like the people, like if there's some sort of drug on the streets of Gotham that these people are dropping into their eyes that's making them more aggressive, feel more alive, like some form of adrenaline that's a little tweaked. Yes, that could possibly become venom at the end. I mean, to be fair, he did inject himself with it. He did start screaming. He did start pummeling the shit out of that dude. And like, they had to be like, dude, chill.
Yeah. I mean, these are all on the same spectrum of aggro.
Mm-hmm.
You can put a lot of things in your eyes, especially stimulants. You can put a lot of things, in you in a syringe.
Yep.
Not especially stimulants there. Pretty much anything's go.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything can go if you stab yourself.
You get a little stabby.
Yeah, a little stabby. Gotham Recall.
I forgot about that. Stabby. The moment that show jumped the shark.
It was in a way. I have no problem with anyone thinking that this was Venom or a precursor to or a prelude to or an homage or an illusion. Fucking any of those things. No problem with that whatsoever. I didn't in the moment think that it was. And I feel like there's as much evidence one way or the other.
Yeah. And I've seen some people or heard some. Honestly, I've seen so much online. I don't know if Chris White said this to me or if I read it somewhere.
It's a blur.
But, there was some allegation that he had taken that off of one of the Riddler goons because that's what they were using to pump themselves up.
Naturally.
I don't know. If Matt Reeves, I'm sure Matt Reeves knows what he's doing. He made that green for a reason. Even if he was like if he finishes his trilogy and he never does a Bane, he'll be like, it was just adrenaline. Or some other drug that they've been messing around with in Gotham.
I mean, it's the kind of color green that the explanation could easily just be, no, that shows up on screen.
Yeah.
It just looks better.
Yeah.
If I'd shown you a clear vial,
mm-hmm.
You might not have even seen it amongst all the other.
I barely saw it as it was.
Yeah. It was a very dark scene. I mean, visually with like some flashy bright spots behind it.
Right.
You might not have even noticed what he did. You might have just thought he was like, and kind of hooked himself into a second or third or fourth win, fifth, whatever the hell win that would have been in that fight. But he did a fair amount of getting his ass beat.
Yeah. So, but I would say, don't get your hopes up. Just in case, just go with the simplest solution. Is probably
Occam's razor is probably it's adrenaline with the green because it looks better on film. But I have no reason to disprove anything else that I've heard right now.
It's a fun theory.
Yeah, hell yeah,
it's a fun thery.
I mean, I like it as a theory, and I would kind of like to get behind it.
Yeah, I mean, over on the Star Trek cast, I was like, well, I was talking about something. Someone's like, how can this be true? I was like, well, because they're playing with time travel over there on Picard. And, someone was like, well, if this erased this future, then this never happened. So why would this person react this way? Nothing said that, a different version of events couldn't have happened. Well, the simpler solution is to say this. I'm like, yeah, but where's the fun in that? Like, it's way more fun to theorize, like, what could have happened, Yeah.
The simpler solution to any, act 1 or even 2 kind of catalyst is 2 people talk it out. It doesn't work that way because it's not as fun.
Yeah. So, maybe it's Venom. I don't know. If it is, I would surmise it's a stripped down, gritty, realistic take on it. I don't think we're going to see like any Bane as the Hulk situations.
No, at the very least, it's going to be a draft. Even if it is that, giant fucking homunculus of a man with
homunculus.
with all the muscles that all of the WWF has ever inspired.
Veins the size of Black Canary's leg.
Yeah. It like veins the size of an average man's penis, frankly. And I don't think that's going to be.
I like how this time you brought Dick into it. I was trying to go classier.
I'll occasionally.
I was trying to be classier about it.
Yeah, like that's fine too. But if it doesn't go that way, it'll be fine. It might be more subtle, and it might just be like a proto version, and it's fine too.
Yeah.
And it might just not be involved at all.
Yeah. Might not be.
It's all theories. It's fun.
All right. So this was exciting. They announced that Keanu Reeves is going to be Batman in League of Super Pets.
Nice.
Like, how do you not see this? How do you not want this movie? Not you. I know you do. But
I'm all over it. I'm all the fuck over it.
like, absolutely, Keanu Reeves is Batman. Let's do it. He's got the voice. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. You remember? Did you ever see? What was that guy's name? He was a boxing referee that became like a TV judge. Do you?
Oh, I want to say Jesse Ventura, but that's not right.
No,
it's just the same story arc.
It was like Judge Joe Moore or Joe Hill or something. I don't know.
Right.
I don't remember what his name was, but he was a little bald guy. It was like every case he'd be like, "Let's get it on."
That sounds right.
I don't remember his name. Anyway, there were so many judge shows in the early 2000s. It's so hard to keep them straight.
It was a very judgy time.
Yeah. They had him as the referee in Celebrity.
Celebrity, that like the claymation thing?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember his name, but yeah, I remember.
You know what I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over to Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Celebrity Deathmatch. Oh, fuck. The whole thing.
Right?
Whole ass thing.
Rachel Ziegler. We still don't know who Ziegler's playing. Or maybe Zegler. But she's going to be in Snow White. She's going to be playing Snow White in Snow White. And Gal Gadot is playing the evil queen.
Yeah.
And Rachel was talking to Empire Magazine and says, "I'm not going to say much, but it wasn't our first meeting."
Fair enough.
I mean, that just sounds like Wonder Woman's in Shazam, as has been previously rumored.
I watched the Atom Project a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
Good movie. I was watching it. And the fact that Ryan Reynolds and Mark Ruffalo were in the same space in Vancouver is not lost on me.
Uh-huh. Thinking they knocked out a couple of birds with multiple stones or whatever the saying is.
It feels like that. That may be a wrong prediction, but still, it feels like that.
Yeah, feels like that. David Sandberg was talking about why the sequel does not address their suit changes because they updated all the suits. And he says, Shazam 2 never addresses why their suits are different now. If anyone would ask, my plan was... if anyone asked, my plan was to say it's because If anyone were to ask, my plan was to say it's because Barry messed up the timeline. But now we come out before Flash. So I'll say the wizard did it. Pro filmmaking tip, put a wizard in your movie to be CinemaSins proof. I love David Sandberg so much.
You are fucking Teflon at that point.
So much.
Oh, yeah.
So over to...
He's a treasure.
He is. Did you see the thing where they were like release the Sandberg cut and he just released a video of him like holding up a freaking stick with a tennis ball on it and going,
yeah, I did.
And the kids reacting?
I did. That was fantastic.
We don't talk about like half of the shit David Sandberg does and says on this show because it would just be nothing but the Sandberg show.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
He's actually that delightful though.
Just follow Pony Smasher on all the social medias.
Yep.
You'll be entertained.
It's worth your time.
All right, we got to talk about this because we have to talk about Ezra again. If you'll recall, he was in a movie called We Have to Talk About Kevin. I'm pretty sure he just wasn't acting in that movie.
Possibly.
All right.
Which episode that was for us, but yeah, we definitely named one that.
Yeah, we definitely named one that a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that.
Not long enough ago.
Yeah, and that one honestly wound up being a little bit of a, well, the cops turned out to not have been called, and a lot of it was a lie, and there was no context. Plenty of context here, though. It says on Sunday, March 27th at 11:30 p.m., South Hilo patrol officers responded to a report of disorderly patron at a bar on Silva Street. During the course of their investigation, police determined that the person, later identified as Ezra Miller, became agitated while patrons at the bar started singing karaoke. Look, I feel him on that. I become agitated when people start karaokeing as well. Miller began yelling obscenities. I don't think I would have done that. And at one point grabbed the microphone from a 23-year-old woman singing karaoke. That's a disorderly conduct offense, by the way. And later lunged at a 32-year-old man playing darts, which is a harassment offense. I don't know what the darts had to do with the karaoke. But maybe it was over then.
I assume they were nearby.
Right. So bar owner asked Miller to calm down several times, to no avail. He was arrested. He got bailed out of prison. Dude was even smiling in his mugshot. Or they. I'm confused about Ezra. I don't know which one that I'm supposed to do.
Their updates. I think it's they.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right. But like about half of the people that I read, say he. So I'm confused.
I don't know either.
I apologize for anyone I've offended. I don't know. So that happened. And then today, a Hawaiian couple has filed for a temporary restraining order against Ezra Miller after they allege that Miller threatened and harassed them in the hours following their arrest, their arrest earlier this week. The complaint alleges that Miller, who had been staying at the couple's home, these are also the people who bailed him out of prison, or them out of prison, burst into their bedroom and threatened them, saying, quote, "I will bury you and your slut wife." They also say that he stole a number of their belongings, including a social security card. Why? And a wallet.
Just pocketed everything randomly out the door.
I don't know what to do with this.
Except that who has the social security card just laying around?
I mean, I don't know.
Unless that was in the wallet and they made a special point to point out that, like, even my social security card.
Yeah.
As though it wasn't just in your wallet.
Right. Like, if that's what he was just like, or they were just like, I'm going to keep doing that. Hey, here's a social security. Yeah. I can be a different person.
No.
That won't help you online.
It's not going to help.
It's not going to help your career.
I remember my wallet getting stolen with the social security card in it and thinking, and actually telling people, like, my wallet got stolen. Even my social security card. And thinking that was somehow separate because it's supposed to be such a sacred item.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a slip of paper.
Yeah.
The thing that makes it sacred is it takes you 5 fucking hours and a couple $100 to get back.
Right.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that is.
But looking chronologically at the entire endeavor, like, there's a lot of jokes about the karaoke that I'd like to make. Yeah. Bad karaoke is bad karaoke. Especially if they, sprung that on everyone.
Yeah.
I can dig that. Maybe the guy playing darts was an asshole. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he just had a bad night in the bar. There's a point where you could be like, I don't know, I can explain some of this. But given the whole state of it.
Yeah.
You have to think instead, maybe, no, there have been a couple incidents like this.
Yeah. Ezra needs some help.
I think Ezra needs help.
Ezra needs something.
He's going to have to talk to somebody.
But the reason we're even talking about all this is that few people tagged us and asked us and said, "Hey, it looks like we're getting a new Flash."
No,
I don't think we're there.
No,
I don't think we're there. I think
this is weird, but given the history of Hollywood, not that weird.
I mean,
let's look back at, like, the Brat Pack or something.
Right. This all happened like the day after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on stage.
Yeah.
Damn
near didn't make the news, frankly. Those two will be fine.
Yeah.
Chris Rock's new special will have 25 minutes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 70. And Will Smith's next movie will still make, I don't know, $250 million if it's a low bar.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be all right. I'm not saying that to excuse it. I'm just saying that the wheel keeps turning in a certain way in Hollywood where it doesn't affect the rest of us.
And the Will Smith keeps turning.
Yeah. If I did this shit and had a job and my boss found out about it, I'd probably be out of a job.
Oh, no.
He can do it, and maybe not.
That's your job. They'd be like, well, did he deserve it?
Possible. I might get away with it, possibly. But
What'd that piece of shit say, man?
but that would still be a very rare exception.
Yeah.
And the funniest part is if someone visited me in jail and was like, "What song were they singing?"
It was "Don't Stop Believing."
All right, I feel you.
It was "Cake by the Ocean." That would be for me. Yeah. So I don't think Ezra's going anywhere. As far
It was
as
the third time that night someone had sung "Staying Alive,"
yeah,
and I'd had it.
like they need to stop singing. "I Will Survive."
Yeah.
After the second time, just say no more.
Yeah. What about the guy playing darts? He was the second guy
He was the second guy.
to have sung it.
He was the second, and I'm sorry you came in late, but you don't get to play that again.
I was still mad at him.
Yeah, I don't think Ezra's gone over this.
Not over this.
Unless David Zaslav is just like, comes in and says, look, we keep having problems. Warner Brothers keeps having problems. I'm here to fix that. I don't care. Ezra's gone.
Yeah. Well, one of the fun parts.
But they've already shot that whole movie.
Yeah.
Save for reshoots, possible reshoots.
He's in this movie, and possible reshoots are on the table. They'll be small, like a month or less.
Maybe.
But, well, maybe.
We never know. That's what they said about Justice League.
I think at this point, they've just sunk so much money in, they're going to probably call it and get out right now. But there might be a point where somebody kind of approaches him even and says, man, look, we made this whole movie about how we can replace people.
Uh-huh. We literally have John Wesley Shipp on the line.
My good bitch. Do you think you're that different? I will Wally West your ass in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, get that shit together. Go seek help.
And Wally West is supposed to have the jokes. So how about that?
Sign up for BetterHelp. There's a number of podcasts that have a / where you can get a discount.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. I feel bad for Ezra. I don't. And I do and I don't. It sounds like.
I mean,
Ezra
I
needs
genuinely do. Like, I really do think he needs help. That much as we joke about it.
Yeah.
I really think he's going through something troubling, or it just is in a state of mind that, regardless of circumstances, needs to be addressed. I don't know what the deal is there, but he needs help.
Yeah.
That part I'm sure about.
I mean, he only recently got social media, and he's only used it to be
odd,
cryptic. I'll say cryptic. I'll say cryptic to be nice.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting much out of it. Like, I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah. I think I've already given my armchair diagnosis of him, and I won't reiterate because God knows it got more real recently. But yeah, armchair diagnosis is. I really hope he talks to somebody.
Yep.
But armchair prognosis for the DC universe, if it continues to be a problem, it's probably going to be a thing. If it stays at this state, let's be realistic. A lot of things happen in the back workings of Hollywood, and a lot of people make mistakes, and they keep going. And I just don't think this one's going to push them over the edge.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree with what anything happened. Just saying I don't think this is probably going to be the thing.
I don't think it will be the thing. In a couple months after they've come to Ezra and said, we can replace you, and Ezra's like, okay, do it. And then acts out even more, that'll be the problem.
That'll be the thing.
Because I get the feeling Ezra is not the type to do well with authority telling him or them, to do anything.
Yeah.
Specifically. But what I'm seeing don't look good.
Yeah,
for sure. Anyway, moving on. According to a new report from The Wrap, George Lopez, Adriana Barraza, Elpidia Carrillo, and Damian Alcazar have all joined the cast of Blue Beetle. And they're all going to be portraying members of Jaime's family. Lopez is going to be playing Uncle Rudy. Barraza of Babel will portray Nana. Carrillo of Predator will play Rocio. And Alcazar of Herod's Law will be playing Alberto. I don't know any of these people except for George Lopez, and I am not a fan of George Lopez, so this actually did bum me out a little bit. I was like, oh man, I cannot stand George Lopez or his comedy. But maybe...
Oh, it'll be fine.
Hopefully they don't let him ad-lib too much.
I mean, he may, but what ends up in the final edit will still be.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, man. Hopefully it'll be like, did you ever see Lone Star State of Mind with Joshua Jackson and were you laughing and coughing at me?
A little bit about
Joshua Jackson is actually a pretty good movie. And Thomas Hayden Church is in it.
I mean, that always helps.
And Thomas Hayden Church is playing like the guy who killed Joshua Jackson's daddy, and he's just gotten out of prison. Or yeah, he killed his dad, and then like Joshua Jackson as a little boy was the one who got him put away, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And so like the whole movie, like we just kind of like, he's just kind of lurking. Thomas Hayden Church is just kind of lurking, you know? But Joshua Jackson's character has is engaged to his stepsister.
Mm-hmm.
So his dad or his stepdad is John Mellencamp, another personality I cannot stand. I cannot stand John Mellencamp.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed him in the movie because every time he sees him, he's like, "Hey, what's up, sister fucker?" It's like, "Shut up, Dad," or whatever he's called him.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So fingers crossed, it'll be like with that. That's actually a pretty good movie. Lone Star State of Mind is funny. You wouldn't think it. Like I saw the title and I thought, I don't want to watch that. And we were over at a friend's house and they wanted to watch it. So I was like, okay. No, it was solid. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
And here's a weird thing. Blackhawks. Do you remember when, like 2017, when they were talking about Blackhawks and we were like, with Steven Spielberg directing, we're like, what the hell are they doing over there?
Yeah. 30 years ago.
Yeah. I'll be glad to watch it, but I mean, I could totally see Steven Spielberg doing a 1940s Blackhawks movie. It just totally feels like something he would do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like David Cope, who was writing the script, was just talking about it with the Collider. It's still on the table. He says, we have a script that's very good, and we all think it's very good. There were a lot of management changes at Warner Brothers. Welcome to Warner Brothers. So I think we've just been kind of waiting for that to settle down and for them to decide what they want to do with their DC universe. Obviously, I hope he does it, Steven. Or if he doesn't direct it, I hope he produces it. And he produces it, I hope someone great directs, because it would be a great deal of fun. I'm very fond of the script, and I hope it comes together. But again, that's one of those movies that's going to need $200 million. So trying to get those whales off the beach is a big process. And speaking of whether or not it'll tie into DC Films continuity, he says, no, and it would be hard because it's 1941 or 1940 actually. So it would be a little tricky. As we were developing the script, we said, hey, let's make one great movie. It's 1940. That's the way it is. And if it works out and in the future they decide they want to unite anybody, I'm sure time travel will not be a problem because comic books have a great way of figuring that out. We need Wonder Woman to be there. Fine. Well, then she can because of the Prometheus portal. I'm like, what's the Prometheus portal? You don't know about the Prometheus portal? Of course, they had Lady Blackhawk in Birds of Prey for a long time. So, I mean, and I believe she came via time travel too. So, yeah. In the comics. But yeah, I'm down for Blackhawks, or they could tie it into to Black Adam with all the Justice Society shit they're doing over there.
Oh, there are ways in.
Yeah,
that's not the problem.
What David Cope isn't factoring
problem is
in
production, which he was mentioning. So yeah. I get that.
David Cope needs to understand
that
these characters are long-lived in universe, and they were around in the 40s. We could have the Blackhawks team up with like World War I Wonder Woman. Like, here's a bit from Wonder Woman that we didn't show you when she teamed up with the Blackhawks.
It'd be all right.
I guess that was like, what, 1918? So here's her involvement in World War II.
Yay!
Just take this over Wonder Woman 1984. Pretend that one didn't exist.
It's fine. Put your powers on hold.
Multiverse.
Multiverse. Yay!
Yeah. Joe Manganiello is sparking speculation that Deathstroke will return.
God,
He changed his profile picture to Deathstroke with the mohawk from the Nightmare timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Did he lose a bet with Jeremy Renner, or can we mostly hope that this is actually real?
I'm hoping that it's mostly real.
Honestly, either way, I'm pretty happy with it.
Like I said, there's a lot of weird shit happening. Like Keith Christensen has been releasing his concept art from Ben Affleck's The Batman that has Deathstroke and his mock-ups for the Batman and Deathstroke.
Mm-hmm.
People are losing their damn shit because they look awesome. And
I'm behind this. Yes.
Jared Leto was talking to Variety and said never say never about playing Joker. He says, for me, they're like living, breathing people. I know they're not, of course, but I get attached. It's a shame to never do it again. And we had
version of him.
Yeah.
God, I'm really behind.
Yeah. I mean, I was on the fence until Snyder's Justice League. And then I was like, no, you know what? He can kill this. He kills this shit. Let's do it.
The moment that is just, it's hard to come back from is when his hand is shaking. You're good. He almost had me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. And released the Air Cut Twitter account, they had released an image of Will Smith's Deadshot and Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn making out in the deleted scene, and they just released a new image, but it's like really blurry. It's of Joker, and it says, "Oopsie, almost let another one slip." They absolutely just blurred it out on purpose, though.
Yep.
As a tease. And meanwhile, Green Lantern actor Wayne T. Carr, now I know you've never seen him as Green Lantern, but this is Snyder's Green Lantern, who was supposed to be in place of Martian Manhunter in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He put out a photo of himself as Green Lantern.
Seriously, like you could just recolor that graphic.
Mm-hmm.
It would be him.
Yeah. He put out a photo of himself in the outfit from the scene where he's supposed to be talking to Bruce Wayne instead of Martian Manhunter. And he says, give the fans what they want. JL2/3 # restore the Snyderverse. I mean, a lot of smoke coming from this camp. A lot of people. Like, it feels like they're ramping up to an announcement.
Actually, like, I'll mourn that in a way.
You'll mourn it?
Yeah, because, damn, I love seeing Martian there.
I do.
And I know it's just literally the same scene if you cut it differently, but
yeah, I don't think Zach will take that apart. I think Zach will just wind up doing it a little differently and bring Wayne in for 2 and 3. Like, I don't think he's going to go back and screw with
Oh,
Snyder
no, he won't retro that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what this is about, but in a recent interview with GQ, Nicolas Cage responded.
Hold on. Give me a second.
Yeah. Take a drink.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Nicolas Cage responded to a Reddit post from a fan asking why Superman Lives still can't be made. And he says there might still be a chance. He says, bring it. And he said, and this is what really made everybody go, wait, what? He says, would it matter how much time I appeared as the character? There might still be a chance. Are we talking about the Flash here? Are we talking about multiverse Flash? Is that what we're talking about? We're talking about Cage playing Superman in the Flash for a second?
Please. Yes.
And I absolutely want to watch that movie that he's in right now, the whatever it is.
Where he's Nicolas Cage?
He's playing himself.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called now.
I can't either.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It'll come to us later.
Something. I think they're just billing it as like I think it might be called Massive Talent.
I don't know. It should be called Uncaged, but it isn't.
God, it should. But yeah, that looks phenomenal. I think we gotta go to break, and because we're done with movie news, and we've still got television news. So you wanna run off?
Top over?
Yeah. Want to do that?
Yeah.
All right. We will be back after these words. More enigmatic words from other mystery sponsors, or maybe the same ones. We don't know. All right, we are back. And look, Jason, me and you, we've known each other for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
Over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me. You know there isn't a whole lot I get genuinely excited about, right?
Naturally.
The other day, I'm in Montgomery. Some combined family birthday thing. And I'll be honest, man, we have small kids in the family. They were being loud and squealing. We have some adults who act like small kids in the family. They were pitching their fits, screaming. And I had found some small reprieve talking to my sister and my brother-in-law about MeUndies. Like, seriously, I was down there spreading the gospel, dude. Like, because some of those folks in my family act like they have something stuck in their craw. And I wanted to help them out with that. It's like,
I
look,
mean, you
man,
can still have something under the craw.
Right.
If and you choose.
And, you know,
but
I'm not saying it's not 100% selfish. Yeah, they use the promo code and shit. You know, they'll get some money. We look good. But, you know, I was thinking, hey, it maybe if they have better underwear, they won't be so bitchy.
right.
Anyway, lo and behold, as I am talking to them about it, you sent me a text saying you had gotten more MeUndies, a new shipment of MeUndies.
Yep.
And I got excited, because that meant I probably had more MeUndies waiting for me.
Right.
And you can ask my sisters, man, I lit up. I was excited. Like, I got on the horn with my wife and I was like, are you back home yet? Can you check to see if I got MeUndies?
The Batman? Yeah.
Yeah. And all she responded with was a picture of the new MeUndies. And I was like over the moon. I'm like showing them to people. I'm like, if you had gone to college, Dave, and said, there will come a day when you are excited about underwear and socks, I would have laughed in your face. But here I am, 38 years old, excited as hell about new underwear and socks. And, dude, MeUndies wants to add to that list of things you're excited about. You know what? I hear these things on podcasts all the time. And I wasn't sure I believed it. I wanted to try it. Dude, they are ridiculously soft. And now I have ones with Batman prints. So MeUndies absolutely makes the softest fabrics you have ever put on your body. So you can drive 100 miles to a joint birthday event and listen to chaos, but your undercarriage will be nice and comfy. And once you try their undies, socks, bralettes, and loungewear, you will never go back. The loungewear is absolutely my favorite, by the way.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, like they had sent me a pair, and then like I was wearing them all the time, and my wife was like, "How do those fit? Are they good? They feel good?" I'm like, "Try them." I have not been able to wear them since because my wife has been wearing them. You could choose from.
Yeah,
they were stoled. Choose from a range of limited edition prints and colors and sizes from extra small to 4XL. You can also sign up for their free to join MeUndies membership, where you get a monthly subscription that sends new styles right to your door. Plus, enjoy up to 30% off on virtually everything they make, free shipping and returns on every order, early access to new launches, and exclusive members-only sales. MeUndies has a fantastic offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off. To get the 15% off and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/DCOS. That's MeUndies.com/DCOS. I'm serious, y'all. It's fantastic. I never want to go back. Like,
they're generally good.
I feel, and look, man, I don't know how good we're doing on the orders. I don't know if they'll renew us. Okay. But in 10 years, give me a call and ask me if I've gone back to Walmart for underwear. Anyway, over to Peacemaker. By the way, I did look it up. It's the, hold on. Now I've forgotten it again. Damn me.
Most popular show on HBO.
No, not Pete. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is that Nick Cage movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's got Pedro Pascal in it, and it's got freaking Neil Patrick Harris.
Yep.
How you ain't gonna watch that, man? Come on.
NPH shows up. Come on.
Yeah. So over to Peacemaker, Gunn revealed in an interview with Total Film that they have a ton of unused footage from the Justice League moment. He says, I have tons of stuff I didn't use. Ezra went on, and I'm not kidding, for 16 minutes about Aquaman having sex with fish. It was really funny.
16 fucking minutes. All right, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, does Ezra have some unrecapped feelings about fish?
There's no telling, man, with Ezra.
I mean, honestly, before all this, I remember him as being someone who was just like having a great fuck on Adderall or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. And dear God, I would like to see Aquaman's growing anger after 16 minutes of him talking about fucking fish.
Uh-huh. He also said in that interview, I think we're going to see more connections and some other stuff as we move forward with Peacemaker and other shows at HBO Max. So those cameos will keep coming. I don't know if the Justice League is going to show up in every season of Peacemaker. That might be a one-time thing. We'll see. But, you know, he did hint to it. He did hint at it here. And then he was on Neil Vagg's podcast and says they started out by talking about where season 1 of Peacemaker leaves us, and then says, I know where it goes emotionally for season 2 and we're figuring out the plot stuff. Frankly, I'm working on another DC thing and maybe another one. So we've got a couple of different things we're trying to balance with the story. Right. So he's got 2 for sure and 1 more maybe. DC thing. Did you see the thing where he was like, he said, yes, the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is the greatest thing I've ever done.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
And then he admits that it was probably just hyperbole, but he thinks everything he makes is the greatest thing he's ever done.
I kind of feel that. Like, come on. I mean, why not think it's the best thing you've ever done while you're doing it and then move on to the other thing?
I wish I had that.
Oh,
every drawing
I hate everything I've ever done.
Yeah. Like right now during this podcast, I have been thinking this is the worst podcast I've ever put out. Earlier I was drawing. I thought this is the worst drawing I've ever done. How am I getting worse?
Right.
By the way, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my handle is @drawingwithdave. I draw a lot of superheroes, as you might have imagined.
Who'd have thought?
Who would have guessed?
It is delightful, though.
Thank you. Titans is officially filming season 4. We got a first look at Joseph Morgan of the Vampire Diaries as Brother Blood. That is not a character I've ever cared about in the comics, and I didn't like him on Arrow, so fingers crossed, y'all. Fingers crossed hard.
It's just a big thing for Titans, and we're going to hope for the best.
Mm-hmm. A cinematographer for the series was asked about when Beast Boy would be getting a new costume, and he says soon with a smile emoticon. So I guess Beast Boy will be getting a proper costume instead of just that jacket.
I guess
so.
I mean he can kind of... He's a shapeshifter. Like, come on.
Yeah, why do you need a costume? I
mean,
unless it's like, you know, I'm sorry, I'm going over to Marvel right now, but unless it's like made of unstable molecules like the Fantastic Four's uniforms and subsequently, you know, everybody else because they all got their costumes from Reed Richards.
No, entirely fair. One of my favorite moments of Titans is when he like beasts out for a second and then he's like, I'm cold and naked.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's real. Like, yeah, of course, because you ripped off all your clothes.
Yeah,
because you know, you see what I'm saying?
You became a beast.
Yeah.
So CW renewals, man. A little good and a little bad here for me. The Flash got renewed for season 9, which if you had talked to me several years or 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said awesome. Right now, I'm going, why? Why? Have you seen that video that's floating around? Where it's like it's like a whole production where it's like they're like they sit the staff down and they show them like the highlight reels, like all the worst bits of season 7, the horrible dialogue and stuff. And they're like, all right. And like everyone starts cheering and they're like, that was so bad. That was like the worst thing we've ever done. We'll finally be free. We'll finally get to see our children. They'll cancel us for sure. And then like in the middle of them celebrating, they get a call. No, we've been renewed. No.
I have not.
It's pretty funny.
That sounds fantastic, though.
Yeah. I've made no bones about it. I want The Flash to be great. I want it to be the best show ever. Because it was probably my favorite show for the longest time as far as the DC shows are concerned. And,
I mean, hell, among any of them, it was the best for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the last couple seasons have just been a real downward spiral. But it has been renewed for season 9. And, but happily, the actual best one has also been renewed, Superman and Lois. Which has just been freaking gangbusters. Like, season 2 is so good. Like my wife and I look forward to it. We're like, Superman and Lois, Superman and Lois. And Mark Pedowitz, chairman and CEO of the CW network, said in a statement, these dramas are also important to our overall digital strategy as they are some of the most streamed and socially engaged programming, and we look forward to adding more new and returning series to help strengthen and expand our multi-platform footprint. So, if you're, again, as we've pointed out in the show before, we actually have a word from the chairman, Mark Pedowitz, chairman and CEO, that yes, while they are low rated, they are very, very, very streamed. Very popular in the streaming world. And that's why they keep getting renewed.
Right.
Weirdly, we don't have word yet on DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Batwoman, Stargirl, or Naomi. I don't know what that means.
They've been playing with seasons as an idea. Well, and timing as an idea for a while. So I'm not entirely in March they should have renewed things if they were going to renew them, but
which, Stargirl, they just
channel.
Yeah. Stargirl just wrapped filming season 3.
Yeah.
So we probably won't hear about Stargirl for a while. We probably won't hear about Stargirl until they've actually started airing it again. Naomi seems to have a very low user base, a very low viewer base. I'll say it's better than The Flash. It's good. It's better than Batwoman. It's been I've seen the first 4 or 5 episodes. It's solid. And, honestly, I hope Legends of Tomorrow comes back. It's been solid throughout. Donald Faison's on it as Booster Gold now. How do I not want to see more of that? And he has said that if it is renewed, he will be a regular. So, yes, please, more. Thank you, sir. Loving him on the show.
Heard him on that podcast talking about how much he wanted to be a DC just contributor in general.
Yeah, fake doctors, real friends.
Yeah.
And Zach says he wants to be Blue Beetle, so hell yes, let's do that.
Hell yeah.
Over to The Flash, though, Eric Wallace, showrunner, teases permanent changes. He says to TV Insider, he was breaking down like the graphic novel format of the season. And he says, we will explore and resolve that throughout the remainder of the season. We're always sticking with our graphic novel format. And for that, he's talking about Iris's time sickness. Which still makes me laugh when I hear it. So he says,
it's a good concept.
It is, but it just sounds silly. So he says, Armageddon was the first graphic novel of season 8. Then we have our first interlude episode, as we like to call them. Those are episodes that are more standalone, and we'll have a couple of those. And then our next graphic novel will kick in at the middle of the season with an all-new big bad, and there will actually be another one at the end of the season. We're going to try something new this year with 3 graphic novels. We're going to see how much action we can pack into season 8. It's going to be a very wild ride, but I gotta warn folks that what is coming emotionally is going to change Team Flash permanently, and I'm not kidding around. Whatever that means.
I mean, all right.
I mean, I've got to see this as some kind of growth on Eric Wallace's part.
Probably.
Because like a few months ago, or last year at least, he would have been like, man, there's going to be something that's coming. Okay, I'll just tell you. What happens is...
No, he didn't literally tell you what was going to happen. So that's an improvement. And bless his heart. He's just so excited. Just so damn excited. And I love that.
I do. I just wish it meant better show. If you love The Flash, I see you, Ryan Hulsman. If you love The Flash, I'm glad for you. I wish I could figure out a way to still love it. I just haven't in a while.
I might just as much. I just haven't.
You just haven't seen it. Yeah. He was talking to Eric Wallace was still TV Insider. And he was talking about bringing in previous cast members.
Yeah,
and he says there's one I can hint at because we just filmed with him. In fact, today we're filming with an old friend we haven't seen in several years, who I'm very excited to have back. I'm not going to say who, but I'm very happy this particular character, who hasn't been with us since season 1 and we haven't seen for a while, came back. We're trying to do a lot more of that in season 8. It reminds the audience of what a wonderful cast we not only have now, but also through the years. We've had so many incredible talents come through, so let's revisit some of those folks. So it's not just Rick Cosnett who played Eddie Thawne. Almost said Brock.
I was going to say Thawne, so it's got to be Thawne.
Yeah, he's not talking about that. It's a couple of other people from the past, one of whom I can definitely say will be back towards the end of the season. Well, we already know that Robbie Amell is coming back. That was reported last fall. That he was coming back for 2 episodes.
Yep.
We don't know how. He says, one of the things that I've tried to do with the last 3 seasons of the show, but especially this season, is to create that comic book ethic, which is, there is a whole world of characters, so why don't we see them more often popping in, just kind of coming through? You don't have to have a full crossover to meet somebody on your show who's been part of the same world for a long time. So it's a very, very deliberate attempt to kind of use that comic book method in television, because it makes everybody feel like, oh, this world really is populated with all these other people, where we can also refer to characters on other shows, or characters our show our characters from the past. It just makes it feel a little more fully realized. And I agree with him. That's not the issue for me.
I agree. And I feel like he's coming late to that party. Like, of course. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. It's an odd concept to act like that's a realization.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you remember that show Monk?
Oh, deeply. Yes.
Yeah. You remember that the couple of great episodes where like the new girl who was helping Monk, like, where she had run-ins with Sharona, the first girl who helped Monk for like the first 4 seasons. And she like came back, and it was like they were like really argumentative and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't, you don't help him out like I used to help him out and all that shit. Like, I dig that kind of stuff, man. I don't remember half of Monk, but
it was a good moment.
Yeah. Like, bring back just like the old colored episodes of Andy, season 6 and 7 or whatever, like when, or season 6 really, when Don Knotts would come back and he didn't like Warren, Andy's new deputy. Like, those were always fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Those are good.
Anyway.
What was her name? What was her name? It was Craig T. Nelson that ended up being the big villain of that series.
Oh, okay.
But dear God, right now I'm blanking.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw the end.
About
I also
what her name was. Monk's wife. What was her name?
Well, there was his wife, but she wasn't the same person that he was like working with.
Oh, no. It was always
his wife,
the assistant.
Yeah, it was the girl from
Two Guys,
a Girl. Yeah, 2 Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza
Trailer
place.
Howard.
Yeah, Trailer Howard.
Well, there was someone before her. I think.
Yeah, Sharona.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember her name. I liked her. The only reason that she left the show is because she wanted more money, and they were like, "Nope,
Negative."
and she was like, "I'm
Yeah,
bouncing."
this guy's winning all the SAGs. So, no.
Yeah.
Like he's got a handful of them. You're not relevant right now. Sorry.
Right. So
It's gonna bother me. What was Monk's wife's name? It's gonna bother me for a while.
all right.
It'll hit me at like 2 a.m.
Yeah. I won't look that one up. Over to Batwoman.
Fair enough.
Over to Batwoman. The EP is teasing the identity of Ryan's father. Entertainment Weekly, Carolyn Dries, or Dries, however you say it, said, I think we have an idea of who he is. I do want to explore it at some point. I don't want to explore it right away because I felt like this season was like Ryan now has a mom, she has a brother, and it's like, who else does she have? It felt like it would dilute all of this and just kind of be overwhelming for the character to keep finding hidden family members behind a door. So yeah, I know people are curious. I'm curious too. I am, for Ryan, very curious. So we'll definitely make story out of it at some point. I just don't know when. I don't know whether fans could currently guess. She said, I don't know, to be honest with you. We haven't gone down that road yet to even get to if we were kind of who we were thinking of. I think it would have to be approved by various divisions, so I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't want to give too much of a spoiler for you, but personally, I would think it would probably be John Diggle.
Yeah.
Because Dig shows up and he knows her mom and they like work together on a case for a second. And there's obviously like a flirtation and she's like coming in for it. And he's like, I'm married again. I'm back with my wife. And she's like, oh. So like, was like a young John Diggle hitting up with Jada Jet. We don't know. But that's who I would assume they were talking about.
Yeah, fair enough.
By the way, I have not enjoyed Batwoman since season 1 ended. And it's not because of Ruby Rose. I don't know what it was. Ruby Rose was not that great of an actress that like I was like, now that she's gone, it sucks. I don't know what happened to the show, but it sucks. It's been so bad since season 1 ended. But John Diggle showing up is always a highlight. Like, I love that guy. I love David Ramsey.
Yeah.
I love seeing him show up. It just makes my heart happy to see him. And his little piece of the episode is always really solid.
He can single-handedly grab a show.
Yeah.
At this point. Well, I mean, at this point in this universe, but probably, I'd like to see him off the leash. Like, he could probably grab a show that has nothing to do with all that.
Probably. Which, they're talking about doing his Gotham U spinoff, so where he's like literally training young superheroes.
I'm down.
I mean, I'll watch it. I'll
give it a go.
I'd rather him be like the lead in like a SEAL team show or something, but just something, some, let him be in something else. But I don't know. I do love Diggle and I love seeing him. So
yeah,
if that's the way we're going to go, we're going to go. By the way, I love how the showrunner of Batwoman is talking like they're going to get another season when they don't know.
Right.
So, Man, I should just do a whole episode about like the state of the CW or something.
Oh yeah, no, we should do that.
Well, I mean, you would have to catch up.
Would I?
Not really. I don't think so. You could watch it, but yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to catch up, but like,
yeah. I mean, once you have all that in front of you, and you're just like, oh man, Dave says the only good one is Superman and Lois.
In the sense of numbers. I don't know how much I would have to actually catch up.
Yeah. Legends is fun. Legends is still solid. I joke that Superman and Lois is the only good one, but Legends is fantastic still. Like, it's a lot of fun.
I believe that.
I enjoy it quite a bit. I look forward to
wholeheartedly.
So another CW show, Gotham Knights.
Mm-hmm.
They've cast several people. They've cast Olivia Rose Keegan from High School Musical, the series, and Days of Our Lives. Navia Robinson of Raven's Home and Being Mary Jane, and Oscar Morgan from Master of the Air, the Miniaturist. And Keegan is going to be playing Duella Dent, aka the Joker's daughter. Robinson will play Robin Carey Kelly. And Morgan will be playing an originally created character named Turner Hayes. We refer to those as whole cloth characters on this show. And they're bringing in Fallon Smythe from Grownish as Harper Rowe, and Tyler Gitiara from the version of Highland Park as Cullen Rowe. And they've now cast Misha Collins from Supernatural as Two-Face. Do you know Misha Collins?
That name sounds familiar. It's
He was the
first
dude-
one that sounded familiar.
He was the Angel Castiel on Supernatural.
Okay.
And he even said, I've asked if my version of Two-Face could be wearing a beige trench coat over the gray suit. I'm just not sure I'll be comfortable in front of a camera without one. Because in Supernatural, he just always wore that beige trench coat.
That dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Which, I've seen bits of Supernatural. It wasn't my thing, but I liked him. I liked seeing him.
I feel like if I watched about 4 hours of Supernatural, I would really like it if they condensed it down to the parts that I would like.
Yeah.
It's super circular argument right there.
Well, I've heard the first 5 seasons are great because that was like the showrunners, the creators always intended for that show to be 5 years, and then it was really popular. So like they bounced and brought in other showrunners and to continue the show, and it just sucked for a long time.
But what cracks me up is like by really popular, they mean 2.5 million viewers. Like the same kind of thing that we
same
thought.
bullshit that we were just talking about, man. It does numbers on streaming, like
I know, that's what I'm
gangbusters
saying. Like, I say that, but that was 10 fucking years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That should have gotten canceled, but it was on the right network for that to be significant numbers,
Yeah, and their ratings, like the show went for like 12 years. So when they actually started, the show was getting
still when they ended even.
The show was getting bigger numbers because everybody was getting bigger numbers. And as the streaming age has, slowly encroached upon us,
it has dwindled everything.
It has dwindled all of the Nielsen ratings, as it should.
Sure.
Nielsen's, God, just outdated as shit.
Yeah.
But the streaming numbers are still high for Supernatural.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway. But yeah, if there were a couple of reasons to watch Supernatural that I've seen, it's him and Mark Shepard, the guy that played Badger on Firefly.
Oh, yeah. No, he was there too.
He's fantastic. Every scene he's in, I don't care what he's saying, he kills it. So, but I haven't watched, like, I actually, like, I saw that he was on there, and my youngest sister Brittany watched Supernatural, and I said, okay, is this show worth it? And she's like, no.
No, save yourself. But
she's like, first 4 or 5 years, yes. Everything after, no. So, I know you would have to watch the whole thing, so no, don't do it.
Yeah, you got to save yourself sometime.
Yeah. Super excited about this. Harley Quinn, man. Season 3 update. Patrick Schumacher says, just finished the first audio mix of season 3. Call your friends. It is happening. It's happening. So I've been steadily waiting, just like, when they're going to give this season 3 announcement. I know that it's coming, but when are we getting it?
Oh,
we're getting closer.
Just a matter
we're
of
getting
time.
closer. And Patrick Schumacher says that they're doing a spinoff of Harley Quinn.
Kite Man.
Absolutely, Kite Man. Have you heard this before?
No, I'm just guessing. But
do you know what the premise is? So the spinoff is tentatively titled Noonans.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Like Cheers, but for Bat villains.
Right.
The spinoff sees perverted criminal caterer Kite Man taking ownership of Noonan's Bar, a Gotham City hangout for supervillains like Joker and the bartender Clayface.
Yeah. Here's my one character pitch for that. They should, I know Noonan's has been in there before.
Mm-hmm.
They should just have someone come in who is the bartender, and it's Robin Lord Taylor.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Just without mention, nothing. Just him.
Yeah. Yeah, but he says the show would see Kite Man. He tries to run the bar by himself. It doesn't turn out so easy. We have Harley and Ivy appear in the first episode, but after that, we have different goons and villains appearing every episode, like Lex and Bane. It will be kind of like Cheers, but for supervillains. I will say one thing that we talked about was with Kite Man, despite obviously not being in sort of a third wheel anymore for season 2 of Harley Quinn, or whatever you want to call him. He poses no threat to Ivy and Harley, but we don't want to just completely wipe him off the board. That said, we want to give him a kind of a win. Like maybe who is he dating now? Does he have like a rebound girlfriend? Is his rebound girlfriend someone who has similar powers? We would definitely want to see him happy and in a relationship at some point. So we're going to get more Kite Man in season 3. And it looks like they've got a spinoff coming where he's running a bar. I'm down. I loved Kite Man.
Yeah,
I love everything about the Harley Quinn, the animated series. It is just wonderful. If you haven't seen Harley Quinn, watch the first 2 seasons on HBO Max, or go down to your local Walmart and spend the $15 on a DVD. You won't regret it.
There is actually some comics attached to that look good, but I'm just gonna check them out on DC Universe.
Yeah.
I only have so much money for comics.
All right. By the way, I say you won't regret it. We were different family function than what I've been talking about this time, but we were at a family function some time ago. Not anyone related to me by blood, but this guy was talking to me about kind of a strict conservative dude, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, I've been watching all the superhero movies and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And he's like, "Yeah, I've been watching Harley Quinn." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good." And he's like, "Yeah, it was good until it descended into lesbianism and bestiality." And I was like, "Wait, okay, which part was the bestiality?"
That part confuses me. The lesbianism, I don't know what you thought you were watching.
Yeah, no, I know, but then I was like, "Wait, okay, so which part is the bestiality?" And he said, "Well, she's having sex with a plant."
Oh, okay.
I was like, "Look, no, I don't think that qualifies as
not a beast.
bestiality." I was like, this animal, vegetable, or mineral, they're 2 separate things.
That's a whole Doom Patrol character.
So I spent a good 20 minutes just looking up what is it called when you're sexually attracted to plants? And I don't remember the term now, but I found it and I was like, "Oh no, it's this." And he's like, "Well, whatever it is."
So you fucked your entire Google history.
And I was like, "Look, man,
just trying to prove this point.
I get it. You're super conservative Christian. I understand you're upset about this, but out of everything on that show, the blatant repetitive swearing, the horrible violence, Dr. Psycho calling Wonder Woman a cunt, all of the things.
This is the hill you died on.
This is the one that just said, nope, I'm not watching it anymore.
It's the pansexuality of the entire thing that just set him off.
I say you won't regret it, but if you're like that dude, you might regret it.
Short of that, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I was seriously, for a second, I was like, what animal did they have sex with on Harley Quinn?
Vegetable, mineral, oil. What's his name? Because in my head, I'm going to
Cyborg?
No, it's Cyborg, but
Cyborgman, whatever it's called.
You're
talking about I Love Lucy.
Yeah, that part too. Vegetable, mineral, oil. It's a Grant Morrison creation.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name.
It's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a broccoli stalk, it feels like.
I'm sure it is. Now, I've got to look that up.
Vegetable, mineral, oil man, maybe? I'm pretty sure they hit it up in Brave and the Bold.
Animal, vegetable, mineral man.
That's the bitch.
Yeah. And I don't think it came from Grant Morrison. He just used it because it's Yeah, it's from like old Doom Patrol shit, dude.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. But yeah, no, is like a dude with like a Tyrannosaurus Rex head and half a body, and he's got like
I keep imagining him as like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with half a bottle of Crisco as his
it's like a dude's head. It's like a normal dude's head, like growing out of the Tyrannosaurus Rex neck
naturally.
But like,
of course,
that's
how they evolve in nature.
His right side looks like his tree trunks,
right,
and then his other arm and leg are like looks like crystals.
Of course,
and yeah, he was briefly on the show,
and now I'm thinking about actual crystals, like like a 12-pack.
Anyway, man, God, I would love a crystal, man. Dude, Mark Bernardin, you know Mark Bernardin. Mm-hmm. From Fat Man Beyond, formerly of Fat Man on Batman with Kevin Smith. Mm-hmm. Dude, this guy's been everywhere. All right, like he was talking about like this dude has like always been really good at writing. Like he used to work for like Entertainment Weekly, and even on the show on Fat Man, he would be talking. He was like, "Oh, what they should have done is," and he would just like he's like Patton Oswalt, where he would just like throw out like 3 really great movies that they should have done, and you're just like, yeah, God, okay, yeah. And I've been proud of him, dude, because like he's been actually like dipping his toe into the water, trying to actually get writing shit going. Dude is a supervising producer right now on Star Trek Picard, and like I saw his name, I was like, holy shit, he's working on Star Trek, and this is what one of the big things that he did for Entertainment Weekly that I know him is because he did like this like 100 greatest episodes of Star Trek. And he just like went through the whole canon and wrote it all up. And he said last week I filed my writer's draft of an episode of a television program that will be called, I think, according to the trades, Batman the Caped Crusader. So now he done wrote an episode for Batman Caped Crusader.
Nice.
So Mark Bernardin is going to be on dealing with 2 things I love, Star Trek and Batman.
Yeah.
Like, yay. I like Mark.
Fan.
Yeah. He's quick.
Yeah.
He's quick. And Aquaman King of Atlantis. I don't know if you ever watched that. I didn't either.
I haven't. It keeps showing up and I'm going to, but
I will. Everything I see of it makes me laugh. I want to see it. I want to watch it. I just keep not. King of Atlantis will be released as a feature-length animated film on digital and DVD on Tuesday, April 26th.
Yeah.
So, again, run on down to your Walmart, pick it up, $14.99 on DVD.
Yep.
Something for you to enjoy with the kids.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah. Only probably.
I don't know if it's too deep for the kids.
I doubt it.
Good.
It looks pretty not deep.
Fair enough.
It looks like it's going to make me laugh, which probably means it's going to be very immature. I mean, shit, dude. Like the thing that I've enjoyed most about the thing so far is like him, like he sits down on the throne and he's just sliding around the throne. And he's like, can we maybe get another throne? And they're like, no. Like, just like the animation just cracked me up. I don't know, man. I know a lot of people hate it. I don't care. That's all I got, man. That's all I got for this episode. You want to call it?
Yeah, let's call it.
Cool, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back. I don't know when. A couple weeks with more DC and goodness. Yeah. Thanks for listening. DCOnscreen.com for every episode ad-free. No, not ad-free. Sorry, that's a lie. Every episode for free. We don't have we're not like Mark Maron. We don't have a paywall behind our old episodes. It's just all up there and you can listen to it whenever you want. Like if you want to hear what the news was, friggin', almost 7 years ago, and you want to hear us be excited about Batman v Superman's trailer or the teaser trailer or, the Supergirl pilot leaking, you can absolutely go back and do that.
Oh, it's there. For better or worse.
It's there and it's waiting. When you were a kid, did you ever call those like the sex hotlines just to hear like the thing, like the little like intro before you put in your credit card?
I think I called one time just to make sure it was real, and I was like, I don't know, I was just curious about whether it was real.
Yeah, like I had some friends and they were like, "Oh man, have you ever listened to that?" I'm like, "I don't even know what that is. What are you talking about?"
Right.
On like cable when they say when they have like the hotlines, and I'm like, "I don't have cable. I don't know what you're talking about." Oh, cool. Come over here and they like dial the number and some lady comes on like, "We're hot and wet and waiting for you."
Of course.
Well, that's the same with our episodes. They are hot, wet, a little bit sticky, and they're waiting for you. So,
It's much less aggressive.
yeah, much less aggressive. And we don't require a credit card.
Yeah. Not unaggressive.
Yeah. You don't have to put in any kind of card information after your first minute. You can just go over there and hear us rattle for an ungodly amount of hours, if you so chose to listen to every episode. You'll hear us spout opinions that we do not have anymore.
And ones that we do.
And ones that we do. So, yeah, man. We're going to take off. Until next time, keep that DC on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Aha. Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.